Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and we've gathered here again today, and we are going to be talking about Stargate. And this is SG-1, and it's going to be the episode Window of Opportunity. And this one was chosen by our very own Susan. I don't know why I'm holding my hands behind my back. Susan, let's go to you, since you chose this episode. Why did you choose this episode for a start? Is there a reason?
Well, the reason is because it shows the interaction of the SG-1 team in various situations, and it's got a couple of trips through the Stargate, which is always fun. And it starts off with archaeology, and then goes into a time loop. And with all good science fiction starts off with a little archaeological kick, and then breaks down into old school science fiction. And so that's what this was. And it was sort of a Groundhog Day. It was there was about three things that were just like that were happening that caused this ancient device to do a loop-de-loop with time, the time loop, and so that was fun. And Daniel and Jack and Teal'c did some translating throughout this thing, and that was also really cool. And you saw Jack and Teal'c develop certain skills and, really take control of the situation. And so that was fun. The fact that it was a Jack and Teal'c story, they being the primary, impetus for it. And yeah, and it's got this amazing kiss, but I'll get to that in my favorite moments. So here you go. Here's Alex.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm not a big fan of Stargate. Some of the cast...
We're removing him from the group.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Stargate, but I know the movie was also, very big, even though it's kind of stealing from Pyramid of Mars from Doctor Who a little bit. But yeah, I'm not a fan of the series per se, but I do like some of the actors. And I did get to meet Richard Dean Anderson, and he was very charming during the Q&A. I mean, and meeting him, we have a picture, of course, and he was very nice. So I have to admit that, if these are a group of actors that know that people, spend their money and time to meet them at conventions, I have to give them credit for being very, pleasant and friendly, and I have to give them credit for that as well.
Oh, was that it? That was quick. I was expecting to at least be half an hour. I was going to go and make a cup of tea and, have a snack. Let's go to Beef Dad.
This will not disappoint you, Halid. I have seen quite a lot of these when they were originally aired in England, and I quite enjoyed them. But this one with the time loop, which happens so much and so often all the way through the damn thing, made it tedious as hell for me. And to be perfectly honest, I watched it all the way through, but by the time I'd hit the halfway point, I was thinking to myself, I will turn this off and not do this cast. But then I decided that I would give my opinion on this. This, of all the episodes that I've watched of Stargate, is the most tedious and unenjoyable of the lot. I loved it with the ancient Egyptian aliens. Loved those. It worked so well with those. But this guy with a time machine thing that he's trying to get back to his wife, it just didn't work for me. It did not work at all. I really didn't feel any sympathy for him. And as I say, the rest of it, it just went on and on and on and backwards and backwards and backwards and backwards. And to be perfectly honest, I found it incredibly frustrating to watch.
Enough about these casts. What about Stargate?
That's what I'm talking about. And let's put it like this. If this were the first ever Stargate that I saw, I would never ever watch another episode. But
You really didn't like it then?
Fortunately, I watched the earlier ones. Yeah, I didn't like it. You got it in one. Bong.
So you think that this is the worst episode of Stargate ever? Out of all, because there's a lot of them
that I ever saw. Yes.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Let's go to Lee. Did you enjoy it as much as Beef Dad, or did you absolutely hate it?
Well, this is the very first episode of Stargate I've seen.
What? Really?
I've never watched it before in my life. I've seen the movie because we've reviewed the movie.
Yeah, we've reviewed the movie, but you've never seen it before?
I've never, ever... Well, it was always on, and I was always doing something else when it was on. You know what I mean? I never got...
Because there's like 9... How many seasons? 9, I want to say. How many? 10. 10 seasons, and it's been running since 1999? Right. Is it? Yeah, 99. And you've never seen it?
Never seen it.
Wow.
And as I mentioned to you the other day, this, yes, it's Groundhog Day 2000, but it's, and I've been racking our brains what else it reminded us. This time loop thing
has been done by everything.
Been done by many science fiction programs in the past, before this episode and even after this episode. Farscape did one. What was the one you mentioned to me the other day? I think there was Farscape.
Star Trek's done it.
Star Trek.
Doctor Who's done it with Father's Day, obviously.
Yeah.
They've all done it.
They've all done it.
They've all done it.
But they haven't, and I agree with Beef Dad, they didn't do it to this much excess of the loop. They was doing the loop and the loop. They were doing the loop too much in this episode, for me personally. Yeah, it's a good story. You know, the premise of the story is good, but if they'd cut out some of the loop, they could have got a bit more. I don't know, because I agree. I didn't really feel anything for the guy wanting to go back in time. You know, he was just a oily little egg who was messing up their day, really. I wouldn't have cared less if he got killed, to be honest. Yeah, as I say, it's the very first episode of Stargate I've ever seen. I mean, hopefully there's better ones out there, but this, because I've done my reading up on this episode, Window of Opportunities, is always voted by the fans in the top 10 favourite episodes.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I don't get that.
But the thing is, you've got to have watched a lot of Stargate to really enjoy this episode, because you've got to know the characters. Like I've watched all of Stargate. I've watched all the seasons. I've even watched Atlantis. The only one I haven't watched fully is Stargate Universe, because to me that was too different. That wasn't really.
No. The characters are fun. You know.
But I think that's how you get the most out of the story and out of the humour, by knowing the characters, knowing their previous relations. You know, their relationship with each other.
The characters
as the series has gone on. Because you've got to remember, this is series 4. We're not talking about series 1. We're talking about series 4.
Yeah, listen, I'm not dissing the characters.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
I'm
saying
kicking you out of the group.
Dr. Jack. Colonel, is it Colonel?
Colonel O'Neill, yeah. He's a brilliant character. He's so funny.
There's nothing wrong with the characters. It's just the overusage of the time loop. You're thinking, oh, not again. Do something else in the story. Stop, keep going back, because reusing it and reusing it. And then they went on to another section and reused it and reused it. Stop doing it.
Yeah, but that was the whole point of the episode.
Yeah, but I'm just saying a lot of other TV shows have done the same premise of time loop, stuck in a time loop, and they've done it far better.
I don't know. I don't agree with you.
But that,
I think this is one of the better ones. But then I think it's because
nothing wrong with the characters or actors. It was just the constant round and round and round.
If you watch Stargate from the beginning, you will love it, because the Goa'uld is what Dad was referring to earlier with the Egyptian gods. They are brilliant. Stargate has some of the best villains ever. And then if you watch Stargate Atlantis, the Wraith, I still think to this day the Wraith are the best alien villains of any TV show.
That guy, is sort of a villain, but he wasn't, because he
wasn't a villain. No.
What I'm saying is, he sort of was a villain, but they wanted you to feel sorry for him.
No. This was a comedy episode. This was a comic relief episode. That's what it was. It's like Doctor Who. Some episodes are funny. Some episodes are more serious. This was just a more funny, light-hearted episode where you learn more about Jack O'Neill and Teal'c. And Teal'c has more to do in this episode. That's just what this was.
You should have put comedy in it.
Hey?
So you're too busy doing that, you're not listening. I said they should have put comedy into the episode then. Because to me, it wasn't very funny.
Well, that's because you don't know the characters, probably.
Nothing wrong
When did you get to know the characters?
No,
you're just jumping in on season 4. When do you ever do that on something?
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
I can see your point that you really would need to know it, but also there was comedy, but it was kind of it was like, what can you get away with comedy? Not really slapstick, or not really like jokey punchline kind of or even Eddie Izzard kind of comedy. It was how far can these characters go, and what would make them go crazy.
And I just want to move on to my favorite moments before anybody else jumps in.
Well,
which is when they start having fun with the time loop. They start playing golf through the Stargate. That really cracked me up. That did. I thought that was brilliant. I mean, Tiger Woods beat that. That's got to be the longest shot in history. No, the whole episode I thought was very funny, because I like Jack O'Neill, and even when he leaves, spoilers, I still like his replacement. Because they replaced quite a few of the cast members towards the last 2 seasons. And I really like Stargate. I've always liked Stargate. I think Stargate should come back. It should come back fully. And I really want Netflix to pick it up. I think Netflix should do a 22-season episode of Stargate. Definitely. And you can have some of the old characters back for cameos and stuff like that, but carry it on with new characters.
Okay, now I myself don't like the idea per se as a series. I thought it should have stayed probably more as a movie. But
No. I think the series is far better than that film.
Yeah, overall it is, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it went almost to 11 years. Yeah. And I think they might have done it again like they do with Buffy in the animated version. I have watched some episodes because Susan is such a big fan. They had another episode with
He's
the
forced you
British.
to watch.
They had, well, I mean, again, I really wouldn't be watching it if she was, if she wasn't here. As far as the Stargate goes, I tried watching it when they released it first to the independent, stations. Um, I do like the characters, but I understand what Lee says. I think the writing does let them down a little bit. Yeah, I
No, it
think I think
doesn't.
they could have. I I kind of wish the other characters had been a little wilder. I wish it hadn't been just O'Neill. I mean, some parts were funny. The golf thing was funny, and the drawing the thing on the drawing the face on the plate was
The
funny.
plate, yeah.
And I give you my resignation. Now I can kiss her.
Oh,
That's
yes,
funny.
I like that bit as well. Yeah.
That's funny in a way. That's funny if you work too much. That's kind of funny. But other than that, no, I didn't think it was that funny. They did have an episode in the Stargate with the British woman. What's her name?
Claudia Black.
Claudia Black.
She's great. Is she British, is she?
Well, I'm sorry. What's that?
Bella Malderon.
Okay,
Yeah,
but
she's brilliant.
yeah, but there was an episode where they were talking about turning Stargate into a TV show, which I get the in joke. That's very funny. And then later on in the episode where she's basically talking about a sci-fi version of Wizard of Oz with the producer. So sometimes I really do like Stargate, but sometimes I don't. And I think it's the writing. But again, it's tough because they want to be military, but they want to be sci-fi, but then they have to have character development. And they know that everybody's going to compare it to Star Trek. So it is a little tough.
No, it's not. It's nothing like Star Trek.
I said they're going to compare it to Star Trek.
No, they don't. They don't compare it to Star Trek.
It's slightly similar.
No, they don't. They don't.
So Teal'c is nothing like Spock at all, really?
No, he's not.
I think he's a little bit like Spock, just a little bit. Not that I don't
Really?
like him. Not that I don't like him, because I do. Like, for instance, I thought when he was hiding on Earth and he got exposed because he was living on Earth, I thought that was a funnier episode than the one we just watched.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You just like
So,
Teal'c more than everybody else.
You just
well,
like
I like Teal'c
Yeah.
and I like the British woman. I admit, those are my two favorites.
Claudia
Go
Black.
ahead.
Yeah. She was on Farscape, if you've ever seen. You've watched
Yeah,
Farscape.
I've seen Farscape. Okay.
Yeah, she's on that.
He wants to.
Claudia Black is Australian.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought she wasn't British. That's what confused me. She,
I apologize. All right, I apologize. I apologize.
yeah, I thought she was, but then Alex said, "Oh, she's British." I thought, "Oh, wow, I never knew that." Don't think even she did. Where were we now? Favorite moments. You two have had your favorite moments. Let's go to Beef. Oh no, I don't think Beef Dad's going to happen. Is there any point Beef Dad?
I quite liked the machine that was causing the business. I thought that was rather well done. But apart from that, no, I didn't find the golf through the I didn't find the golf shot through the Stargate particularly funny. That didn't really amuse me. Yeah, that's about it. That's about my only favourite moment. Well, the moment that sort of clicked in my head. But the thing is, there was so much going backwards and coming forwards, going backwards and coming forwards, that they missed out on a lot of opportunities to increase the interest in it. And I just found myself losing interest more and more and more and more. And if you lose interest in something while you're watching it, then that's not well done. Dodgy direction, dodgy writing, I would say. can't blame the actors because they are doing what they're paid to do.
Well, you'll be pleased to know, just like a time loop, I'll be reviewing this episode again next week.
Oh dear, I think I'd rather. Good morning.
So you'll have to watch it again. Could you imagine if Beef Dad was now stuck in a time loop where he had to watch this episode over and over?
Yeah, it already feels this way. Yeah.
Oh, Alex,
Dad.
it wasn't that bad. Behave yourself. Sort him out, Susan.
All right. Well, I found the list of all of the cool Groundhog Day time loop TV shows.
Oh, we could be here a while now.
No,
let me get
there are a few.
Let me get settled. I usually spare this for Alex, but
Okay.
so it could be for Susan today.
Star Trek: The Next Generation
there you
episode Cause and Effect. X-Files Monday. Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Life serial. You
What's
meet
Life
like
serial?
Xena, the
Oh,
Warrior
Xena.
Princess episode. Been there, done that.
There you go. I remember that one.
The
I
Fringe
remember that.
episode White Tulip. The 12 Monkeys episode Lullaby. Supernatural episode Mystery Spot. Charmed episode Deja Vu all over again.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Dark Matter episode All the Time in the World. Star Trek Discovery episode
Are we playing time loop bingo?
Magic to Make the Sanest Man Go Mad. And Legends of Tomorrow, Here I Go Again. Blind Spot Everlasting.
Everlasting.
And that's all of the ones that are in our geeky fandoms.
So what was that like?
There's more than that.
Yeah. So,
There's more than that. It didn't have Doctor Who.
yeah.
there's
So,
definitely more than that.
yeah.
But,
So what is that like? 14 of the biggest ones, basically.
I didn't know Xena did it.
Yeah, Xena did it already.
Andromeda would have done it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did it.
Andromeda would have done it because all sci-fi shows have done it.
Yep.
Red Dwarf has done it, hasn't it? Red Dwarf has done it. Of course it has.
And so has the original Twilight Zone. The Twilight Zone was the original of the original to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I mean, it's cute in a movie.
Really?
And if it's done well, then that's fine. But yeah, I mean, obviously, you can't really copyright every single plot device and every single plot gimmick and say, we're not
you
going to have
can't. You
anybody
can't.
do that.
As far as I know, you can't copyright a plot
Yeah.
because everything's really the same plot, isn't it? Like there's only 7 films in existence or something.
Well, no, it's like
Only
seven technically original storylines, and then everything is a DVD. Just like with music, there's only a certain amount of chords.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
always
you have
4, isn't it, or something?
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
yeah,
the same
but-
4 or something. Yeah.
Well, the same 8 or whatever it is, but I'm saying the genius comes in the way that you arrange it.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, you can have the same, or for people that don't want to be that technical, boy meets girl or alien meets human or whatever or boy dog or whatever.
Boy, dog.
Boy meets dog or whatever. No, but you know what I mean. I
Where you go?
said it wrong, but
Where you
boy
going?
this dog or whatever.
Where
You know
with
what
this?
I mean. You know
I
what
get a bit worried about Alex as he's
No, all
slowly,
right. Okay,
slowly being absorbed by the
I
sofa.
spoke. I spoke too quickly on that, but yeah, I mean,
He looks like if he's growing out of Teal's crop.
No, I'm. Yeah, I mean, just like the same thing because, like, I've bumped into people that say, "Oh, I don't
You
like
must
it.
be more careful where you're going.
I don't like Italian food because it's the same thing," or "I don't like time machine."
I hope you didn't
stories,
say
it's
that
the
to
same
in
thing.
an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
Do you like lasagna?
Yeah.
I love lasagna, don't
Okay,
you?
let's get back on subject, okay?
Yeah.
Lee needs to go.
Off you go then, Lee. See ya.
I was just wondering when you were going to get to me. That was all.
That's what I meant.
Alex hasn't finished yet, so you just have to wait your turn.
Hold on. Go, you
You're
want to know?
finished.
Bits?
We've got another 20 minutes cleared for you yet.
He was done.
He was what?
He was done.
Oh, he's done. Okay.
Is it me now? Oh, right. Thank you. Favorite bits?
Wait, I haven't asked you yet.
Well, you just sat there staring at me. Come on, then.
Beef Dad. Final say and score.
What? What am there?
Let Lee say his favorite moments, please. I want a full cast about this.
All right, then. Lee, give us your final say and score.
I don't. What? Right, as I say, I don't. Nothing wrong with the actors in this. I mean, also it's got.
You've just slagged half them off.
I never dissed any of the characters.
You did.
No, I didn't. You go back, and I've never said anything about the characters. I do like. I can't remember the actor's name. He plays the major, or is it the general?
Oh, yes, I like him. Oh, what's
Richard Dean Anderson?
No. The
no,
bald-headed.
yeah, you know, the captain, the boss,
Yeah.
the boss man.
Oh, General Hammond?
General
Don S. Davis?
Don S. Yeah, because he was absolutely brilliant in Twin Peaks back in the day.
Oh, was he in Twin Peaks? Was he?
Oh yes, big party, big.
He's a great actor. He is good in Stargate.
Yeah, he's dead now, but
Yeah, he died a few years ago, didn't he? Now, yeah.
What was I going to say?
He died before it ended, didn't he? Yeah.
I did like the bits when was it Jack? Is it Jack?
Yeah, Jack. Yeah.
Kept saying things, and then he kept saying, "Oh yeah, that's a bad example." I thought that was quite funny.
Yeah, that's his character. Yeah, that's how he always is.
I also like the parts where it happened maybe twice. I think it could have been 3 times, where he didn't tell Dr. Jackson to move out the way before the guy bumped into him and papers went flying.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing, you see, the character.
And he goes, "Oh, I should have seen that coming."
I'm guessing those two are like chalk and cheese. They don't. They wind each other up, I suppose. This is why you see. I get the character.
And they're like best friends too.
And this, I thought that was good. So he wasn't even going to tell him to move out the way. He thought, "Yeah, I'm just going to see you go flat in your
And
face."
where have you seen the guy who plays Daniel before? Lee?
No, we're not doing that Christmas thing again. Yeah, but he was fatter in that Christmas one, wasn't he? A lot older.
Fatter? It's not fat. It's muscle.
I wouldn't
Isn't
know.
it, Susan? It's muscle.
Anyway, well,
Susan, stop dribbling.
I think they're all really, really super muscular.
I don't know whatever his name's put a lot of weight on just lately. What's his face?
Who?
Jack.
Yeah, but he is in his 70s.
Is he? Well, I didn't think he was that old.
Yeah, I think he is. He was quite old when he was doing this. He was in his 50s then, wasn't he?
I remember it from MacGyver.
Oh, was he in that, was he?
Oh, God, call yourself a geek.
I'm not as old as you, am I?
You don't have to be old. You don't have to
I'm post-dinosaur period, not pre it.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Yeah, MacGyver. Anyway, carry on.
So what do you make of the other two characters, Sam and Teal'c?
I agree with what Alex said about, is it Teal'c?
Teal'c, yeah.
Yeah. Very Mr. Spock-like. Very logical.
Oh, yeah, he's logical, yeah.
Who's the other one?
He's the logical one of the group.
And who's the other one?
Samantha. She's the brains.
Dull.
Yeah.
Dull and boring.
That's true until she blows up a star. She's
Spoilers.
No
And
spoilers.
then she kills the rest of the crew, but let's not talk about that.
All right. Yeah, those are things that happen in the future. Just enjoy the.
Oh, yeah, he's almost 70.
Just enjoy the what?
Just enjoy
The ride.
the repartee between them. But
Yeah.
she's the one who designed everything that fits to the Stargate to keep the the addresses and the spatial relations of all the stars and stargates in order. And apparently it was her system that made it made the dialer effective and functional.
She was still dull and boring.
Okay. I disagree, but
She's just trying to avoid an argument, aren't you, Susan?
I'm going to avoid
Susan
this.
does not agree with that. She's backing away.
I do not agree with that. I do not agree with that. But
Look, Susan, you can tell him to shut up.
no, he's got his opinion, and he hasn't watched jack of it. So
No, he hasn't watched any of it. No, he hasn't even watched this episode. He told me earlier.
I'm
Yeah,
making it
yeah.
up as I go along.
Very funny.
But I like archaeology and stuff like that. And Stargate has a lot of archaeology, and it has a lot of Egyptian mythology and things like that. I mean, I loved it when Susan will remember when Anubis comes in.
Yeah,
Oh, I loved Anubis.
Anubis
It was
was
brilliant.
really, really scary, really, really dark, and really, really evil.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of the Egyptian characters are based on real Egyptian gods.
Yeah.
So I really love all that when Stargate does that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm absolutely fascinated with ancient Egypt and Egyptian gods and
their main one of the main gods was Mesopotamian god Baal.
yeah, Baal, yeah, yep.
Yeah, that was cool. But this one, it's the people who built the Stargates built the time loop machine.
Yeah, what they call
The ancients.
the ancients, yeah.
And they're the ones who built the city of Atlantis, the city starship of Atlantis.
I mean, I love Atlantis. Atlantis was great.
And then they also built the Destiny starship and the siege ships that were in Stargate Universe. So basically, they were the brains behind the whole operation. And the Goa'uld made the force field that the guy who was running the time loop machine, the Goa'uld made that force field that surrounded him. And the funny bits that I liked were I love it when they say when Jack says, "What kind of archaeologist carries a gun?" And Daniel goes, "Me." And then I've seen the memes where they put River Song and then Indiana Jones in there with their guns anyway. So that's fun. And then I like the place where he's sitting there and he switched from Fruit Loops to just a blank.
Oh yes, yeah, the Fruit Loops, yeah.
To the blank plate, and he's like, "I'm going wacko." And that's really fun. And then I love when General Hammond interrupts Teal'c and Jack when they're playing golf through the Stargate, and he says, "You interrupted me in the middle of my backswing." That was hilarious. And
when O'Neill's riding a bike.
I like O'Neill riding a bike in SG
down the corridor, yeah.
And then I like when Teal'c finally gets tired of getting smacked in the head by the door
And he just throws the door in the man's face. Yeah.
Yeah, it pushes the other way, and that was funny. And I liked how Teal'c and Jack learned how to juggle, and they learned ancient, and they learned Latin, and they learned the Latin textbook was written by Joseph Malozzi, who produced all of Stargate Universe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I
I
mean,
didn't know that.
yeah. So that was fun. It was like that connection was there, and I like the bits where he is talking to Sam, and he's like, and Sam is like, and could he have read my report? And Daniel goes, read your report? I mean, that was funny because Jack was never an intellectual. He was always sort of just command, just, even in the movie, he was just a commander. He was not an intellectual. He was not a.
Doesn't really think about things. Yeah.
He doesn't read reports. He's not like that kind of commander. He's just decision maker. Anyway, so that's fun too. And yeah, so those are my favorite moments, and I enjoy the heck out of this one, and I'm sorry if you guys didn't enjoy it. I apologize. Perhaps I should have chosen a different episode. I mean, next time maybe.
Big Dad, look, said it all then.
Yeah, I saw that.
Can I just say, you didn't. You chose 3 different episodes, and
Which ones did she choose?
Window of Opportunity.
Yeah,
and hang on.
Rising.
Yeah.
Nemesis, the Rising.
Nemesis, that's the other one. Yeah. So Nemesis is in outer space.
Yeah.
And Rising is the very beginning of Stargate Atlantis.
Yeah. So it was just this one beat the others in this little poll we did.
Yep. All right. True story.
Are you done, Susan? Yep. Okay, we'll move on to final say and score. Let's start off with Beef Dad.
This is brief, boring, tedious, annoying, 3.
I knew it.
3. Wow. Let's go to Alex and Susan since they're unmuted.
Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the show. It's weird because this, like I said, I saw some of them when they were on the regular independent over-the-air stations, and now I guess it's playing a Comet on the web. There's only about 2 characters that I really like, which is Teal'c and the Australian actress. I apologize.
Yeah, but she's not in this one.
Right,
She's not to the final 2 seasons.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again.
So you only you only like Teal'c in this episode?
No, I like Teal'c as a character. And
you don't like him in this episode then?
He's all right. I wish they had done more comedy with him because he usually is so serious.
No, they did. They did do comedy with him. I thought he had a few funny lines.
No, he did.
Yeah.
But I thought the writing was a little bit wrong on this. I mean, again, it does have its moments, but I also have a problem with sci-fi in a military setting or military-like setting. So I'm probably not the best person to ask.
You see, Susan loves that. Susan, military and sci-fi. Susan is. I know
why she likes the characters and the setting. I just don't. I just don't.
Susan loves the military.
I like more of a Doctor Who or Twilight Zone or Blake Seven type of thing.
Do you like Sliders?
Yeah, I like that at first.
Have you seen Sliders? Yeah.
It sort of got. I lost interest by the last 2 seasons.
I don't think Beef Dad is keen on Sliders.
But I met one of the actors who didn't like it, but I don't know if he's coming back to. I don't know if they're going to reboot it again. Yeah, I mean, but that was also more comical. It didn't say that. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't intellectual in most cases. So that was a little different.
Nor this group.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's not one of my favorites, unfortunately. But like I said, I have liked some episodes, but my two characters are Teal'c and what's her name in the series?
Paula Malderon?
Yeah, that one.
You like her, but you don't know her name.
Well, because
I love Bella. I thought she was brilliant.
Yeah, I like the acting and all that, but yeah, it's not one of my favorites, and I understand what Lee and Beef Dad are saying, that the writing could have been better. I think it should have been more varied. But like I said, I think they were trying to go for like 4 different things, and then try to make it really serious at the end, and then try to put more comedy at the end. I think to try to tie it all.
But it was a comedy episode.
I'll give it a. I'll give it a 7, but like I said, I'm not a big fan of it anyway.
And that's really low for him. That's like a 4.
No, it's not.
It is.
So you think?
When has he ever given anything lower than a 7?
All right, I don't know. So are you saying that he never? All right, never mind.
Yeah, no.
He hates it. He hates Stargate.
No,
he doesn't like it.
I've watched it with him. He doesn't hate it. That's true. He doesn't hate it. Anyway, I'm not going to get much further with this. I will give this one. I'll give this one a 10. I enjoyed it. I enjoy the humor. I enjoy the fact that, in terms of my idea of science fiction, start off with archaeology.
Yeah.
Talk about the past, and then build in the characters, and then talk about the present, and then aim it at the future. I love that. I love that about science fiction, and this one did it. So, and it had great moments with some of my favorite characters ever.
Let's go to Lee.
Oh, right, okay.
Unless he's still replying to comments.
Beef Dad, turn your camera off and go to the toilet now.
Why?
Because he's busting for a pee. He's just messaged me.
Oh, is he? Why? How long are you going to be?
Well, short and sweet for me.
I'm not going to say it.
What? Yeah, characters fan, actors are fan. It was just, for me, the story was just too repetitive, and I didn't find what you're finding funny.
That's because you're just a grumpy old sod.
So, I'm mostly going to go 3.5.
No, you're not. You're just being a troll now. You're just doing what I do and giving a deliberately low score to upset me and Susan.
3.5.
No, I'm not accepting that. Try again.
I'm sorry, that's what it's saying.
Can we cut this bit out, Susan, in the edit? And take a previous score of Lee's where he says an 8.
Yeah,
at least an 8.
So we're just going to overdub it and give it a higher score.
Yeah, overdub it. Thank you. So an 8 from Lee. Thank you, Lee. And Beef Dad gave it an 8 as well. That's fantastic. And so did Alex. Well, I think that is some fair score in there. So it's got 8s all round, apart from Susan, who gave it a 10. And I do have to say, Susan is the only sensible member of Geeks Assembled. Because I thought this was a very good episode. I thought the characters were great. I thought the story was great. I don't know what you're going on about, the time loop was repetitive. Have you never watched one of these stories before? I mean, it happens in every single sci-fi where they keep on repeating the same day or the same moment. that's what the story is. That's it. And I thought it was a well-told story. And actually, I liked the ending. I thought the ending with a guy who wanted to go back to see his wife again was good. I thought it was a good resolution to the story. Because I'll tell you what, if there was a device that I could turn back time to see my gran again, I would seriously consider it. And I think everybody would, if you had that choice. If you had that device in front of you, you tell me that you wouldn't want to go back and see a loved one that you've lost. So I think it was a good story. So, therefore, along with Susan, the only sensible and honourable member of this group, and well-respected and well-regarded member of this group, and a really fan favourite amongst our fans, the Geeks Assembled community. Susan is yes. Susan is she tops the polls every time of the Geeks Assembled members poll. Yep, along with me, of course.
So humble.
Lee's about 12th place, but he's got.
Ali, it would be the third time you've been on a poll.
I know.
Well, you should stop paying me.
Going on and on and on.
Whoa.
And just forget the rest of us.
Has Alex just said that I go on and on and on?
You are right now, you are.
Hold it a minute. Hold it a minute, Alex. We need to have at least a 20-minute conversation about this.
No,
You're telling me that I go on and on and on.
You are right now, you are.
Anyway, I'm going to give it a 10. Yes, you heard me right.
Quite right, too.
And this episode, as Lee says, is a fan favourite. And the reason why is because we can appreciate the episode because we're fans and we've watched the entire series. Probably when you've actually done some research and you've actually watched the entire series, you might like it too.
You might.
Yeah. No, you will. You will like it. You will be forced to like it.
Oh.
Eventually, you will like it. So join us next week when we will be reviewing Stargate SG-1, The Window of Opportunity. Next week.
Oh, dear.
I'd like to thank everybody here for joining me. I'd like to thank you for watching. Tell us below how much you love Susan as a member of Geeks Assembled. And she is the best member of this group. To be honest, ignore what the others say. They're just furniture. They're just dressing. Susan's the main member of this group. So thank you, Susan. And on that note, look after yourself. Take care. We will see you next time.
Oh, dear.